Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and hope you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too. I'm Bushka. Thanks very much for watching. Welcome back to the channel. If you're enjoying yourself, then give yourself a pat in the back, because that's what you're meant to be doing when you're playing PUBG Mobile. Having a bloody good time. And I'm going to tell you how you can have a good time at crates. Specifically, Georgopol and Novo. The crate drops that get jam-packed with hot, heavy humans looking to just smash and bash their way to an early kill count. Now, one of the things that you'll see a lot at crates is this fighting on top. I'm not a big fan of it. I often dive off very, very early. Once I get a gun and a little bit of armor, I give myself like about 30 seconds to a minute. I will be off the crate like a jackrabbit. And the reason for that is pretty simple. Most of the time when I get kills, it's people, like early game, it's people prancing around on the top of the crates, desperately looking for that perfect loadout. You've got to treat Georgopol like any hot drop, or Novo in this case. If you go to a hot drop and you stay in plain sight of absolutely everyone, then you are going to get wrecked. You'll note there too that I've left that guy outside as a knock, and I'm trying to leverage that into Ouija getting him up, and his partner has decided to push. And he's probably done that because they've got more than one squad member with them. We don't have that luxury, so we're a 2 versus 3s and 4s. Now, where was I? Yep. So, my first tip if you're dropping Novo or Georgopol would be to only get yourself what you need off the top of the crates if it's a hot zone. Now, you'll be able to tell if it's a hot zone. There is gunfire going off left, right, and center. There are people dropping like flies. The kill feed is just constant. Look at this kill feed. It is just churning over everywhere. There is a lot going on at the start of this game because the flight path went directly over Novo. You also have to make sure, more than most places, that your sound is working gangbusters. You have to have your sound going. Now, you'll see often if I include a little bit of crate work, listen, I've stopped. I'm completely stationary there. And the reason is pretty simple. I'm using my ears more than I'm using my eyes. I'm not really even looking with my eyes. I'm tracking sound with my ears. I thought he was coming around there. No, he's the next one. I'm charging it now. I think that's the last guy from their squad. That's 3 kills for me. And I'm tracking again with my ears. I can hear something in the water. Now, this is very dangerous, and this is actually pretty silly on my part. And I just wanted to show this clip particularly because frags are great and frags are important, but I always talk about letting the game come to you and that the kill count will happen regardless. And this is a bot down here. This guy's a bot, right? A horse's head with a DP28. I mean, he's glitched out under the stairs. That frag could have cost us the game, and that was really, really silly on my part. So the reason I included that, even though I look like a duffer for going out in the middle of nowhere, is to highlight something very, very important. If you push out for a frag or a kill at crates, and there is someone overlooking you from one of the cranes or who has got a good position on top of the crates, you will get drilled. I was very, very lucky there. That is a bad thing to do. Do not do that. And I was watching the video back and I was just like, oh, you absolute muppet. What were you doing? Because as you can hear, there are still lots and lots of squads around. Now, like any good duos matchup or squad matchup, you have to stay connected. Now, Ouija and I are in a bit of a tight spot here because I know that there are people there. And they've surely heard me running in. So we want to cover both ends of this warehouse where I've told Ouija the enemy is nigh. I'm not moving. I'm not moving. Because sound at crates is everything. And I'm moving so quietly that my footsteps won't even appear. Just a tiny gentle nudge left or right. And I want Ouija to go to the far end. And he does. He starts covering the far end. But crates is particularly difficult because you can get hit from all kinds of different angles. And Ouija is not just covering the far end. He's basically covering my entire right flank all over the place. So he is looking right, he's looking left, and then I tell him that I've got targets here with me, and he starts moving down towards me to help me with his targets, and that's when I get pushed from the right, and it can all go to hell in a handbasket very, very quickly. And you've got to have patience. Here he goes. I've just outlasted this bloke. He can't help himself. He eventually comes up to have a look. That's one knock. Now, I've been watching the kill feed. These guys have been dominating this end of the crate system, so they definitely know where they are. It's another knock. Now, watch my right flank here. Ouija's looking back towards me. There's just too much ground to cover. And crates is like that. It is exceptionally tough to cover off on absolutely everything. But you drop here because of situations like this where, look at Ouija's health. He clutches it out. I get 7 kills and he revives me and we move on from crates. Something else about crates that's really, really, really interesting. Quite often if you get in these big gunfights where you walk out with 7 or 8 or 10 kills from Georgopol or Novo crates, you won't have any gear. And that sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Because you will have your guns, but your vests will be shredded. You won't have a helmet. You'll have bandages at best. Because what happens is the squads eat all the supplies and the resources up. And it's actually, if you get a great route that goes right over the top of Georgopol or Novo, and you take that route, you can get in all kinds of strife when you come out of it. Particularly if the zone is unfriendly. We've had plenty of crates where people have driven the cars and they've got blown up and they've taken all the med kits and we can't find a med kit in the entire joint despite getting like 8 kills or something. And it's because the gunfight's gone on for like 5 minutes of non-stop ripping and roaring intensity. And in fact, this gunfight is a lot like that. There's so much going on here. And we actually get a couple of really good players from a few of the better clans popping into this one. I can't tell, man. Everyone's got these crazy names and all these little dots and things in the names, and you can never tell who's who. Now, remember what I talked about with people on top of crates? Here's why. Like, I get a VSS, and this guy's jumping all over the place. If that had been like a Car 98 with an 8 times or an M24 or even SKS or an SLR or a Mini 14 with that kind of shell velocity, I would have tagged him up, and he probably doesn't even have a vest on. So let's talk again about support and connectivity. We're getting our stuff at crates. I'm just desperately looking. There's someone there. As soon as we see someone, we're down. Now, that might sound a bit weird because that guy is obviously an easy shot for me. But there's heaps and heaps of squads here. We saw them dropping on the way down. Ouija was watching the squads and he said, there's like 4 squads, mate. This is going to be really hectic. There's just 2 of us. If I go and start shooting that guy from the edge of a crate with a DP28, the entire place will see hit markers. Anyone that has an overview of me will get a free shot. Absolutely free. I have no vest on. That is 4 rounds of AKM. And I'm dead. Okay? Hell. Taps from 2 different guns, and I'm dead. I don't even have a backpack to put stuff in. So you can understand that being thoughtful with the way you approach this is really, really important. I like to go up to the cranes if I'm in a full squad. If I'm not in a full squad, I won't go up to the cranes. Now, the reason for that is that you need to be connected to your duo partner. Otherwise, you end up in a situation where one of you will get knocked by a guy who's hiding in a crate. And if you're with him, that's an opportunity for you to overlook and get him up. And if you're not with him, then he's going to die. And what's the point of playing with a partner if you're not going to be a buddy? I'm actually going to show you the hand cam for this one too, because I forgot I recorded this on the hand cam. There you go. We're going to park that one up. And you're going to see some really intense and bitter fighting here in the crates as Ouija and I try and figure out what to do. Now, the other thing that you've got to do is share resources. You can hear how many gunfights are going on here. It's constant. And there's a lot of squads that actually know what they're doing because they've dropped down below the level of the crates. So the squads that know what they're doing are a problem because they will pull that information, they'll be quite aggressive to you. What we're going to do here is be very, very patient. Now, we've seen the zone line. We're going to hang on the back edge of these crates, and we're going to expect these guys to come in. I use spots like this to get half my body above the crates, which is a lot harder to see than if you're standing on top of the crates. The other key with crates, as I've mentioned, is sound, and you can hear the noise of people as they run along the top of those crates. It makes a very, very clear noise. You can also watch the footprints. See how the footprints are popping? So I know when that guy is actually coming down those crates, and I can pre-fire and clear him pretty easy. That's Tot Mango. He was being very, very aggressive. I think he must have thought that I hadn't seen him when he dropped down because he was pushing straight through, and I was still engaging his squad mate. And then we've seen another one of his squad mates down the end here. We're going to do a little bit of strafe. Just spam out. I don't want a bar of that, man. Don't want a bar of it. We're being very, very patient. Check out Ouija and my connectivity. How often we're over 30 meters away from each other. Not even that. Like, how often we're even over 25, 30 meters the whole time. We stay strong and stay connected. Now, that's really, really important because as you're going to see in this, like, watch how many rounds I have in this M416, by the way, and watch me get this last guy, the last member of this squad, I think it is, with the last bullet in my M416. This is hilarious. This is the RNG of PUBG Mobile, hey. This is a great spot, by the way. I use these spots all the time. They're very, very handy because no one hears you running. So we get PIREAL, I don't know who that is, and then GS slashes on the right with Ouija. Still looking. Now I'm using my ears more than anything else. That's the last shot. Look how close Ouija is, though. I was completely able to cover him there. And we basically used his hit point pool to clear that GS guy, which was really, really cool. And now I'm going to drop him a med kit as well. Now, remember how I talked about how often you'll come out of these places and just everyone's gear's wrecked and there's not much med kits left and everything. Like, we come out of this and we don't have a lot of med kits. We're just running bandages. We don't have any boosts. We've just got absolutely nothing left. And we clear that because there's so many guys around. These guys go to the top of the crates. Little tip about the top of the crates. So you can hear the noise that they make when they're on the crates. It's going to sound a bit weird, but you actually have an advantage when guys are up the top. You can set up the shot much like you would for someone coming around a corner, but you've got to do it by putting yourself in a situation where you can actually cut down the distance. So you want to be looking on a very sharp corner. And I'm going to show you what I mean. This here is the ticket. They're up top. I'm going to move right up to this yellow corner here where the box is. And I'm just listening. Okay, so I know he's up above me. And I set up for the shot. Here he is. If I had a better than a level 1 vest there that was already chewed up, I would have done a lot better in that. And now we're into the bandages. Like, this is it. And did you see too, when I shot him, I actually moved backwards so that as he got knocked and went down, I could get his head, which would make sure I could clear him with the rest of the magazine. Little tips, little bits like that. They make a big difference when you start out, hey. We're just bandaging up. We're just burning through the bandages, waiting for these guys to turn up so we can get stuck into another lot. As it doesn't have a lot, as it's got nothing, I'm like, oh, ripper. There's a half squashed level 2 vest. I'll take that. And Ouija and I, again, look how far apart we are. We are absolutely neck and neck. We do not leave each other's side. And that's the reason we come out of this. Watch me disengage from this. We both pull the pin. I flank, and I wait again. We totally leave this guy alone, and he goes and absolutely nails us. Now, this is how you know you love the game, don't you? I mean, there's so many little nuances and so many different ways to get wrecked, and you can do everything perfectly and still run into someone who gets really creative and thinks through and does it right. And what happens here is that guy that we just like had a little engagement with there, he goes out the back behind the zone line, lies down in the grass, and waits for us to exit through the back of these crates. I love that kind of play. That's just being a little bit different. It's using the terrain, using what you've got. You wouldn't expect it, but it works out really well. And he actually catches Azza up the back here. That's as far apart as you'll find us. And because I'm close enough, I'm able to get back around and help Azza out. I really love Georgopol crates. I really love Novo crates. If I had to pick one, I'd go Novo. I find so often that Georgopol is just a little bit sparser in terms of gear. And I can see someone on the top of the crane there who had an overlook, obviously. And I'm wondering where the hell is his buddy if he's on top of the crane, because I know that he wasn't on top of the crane before. Is he coming in? Oh, hang on. There we go. He's popped up behind Azza. Where is he? He's in with Ouija right now, so we've got to get in there and strafe hard and force. Bloody... Ugh. Those bloody Halloween scarecrows. They caught my eye. Azza's going to wait, and I'm going to have to strafe out this guy. I'm waiting for his footsteps to go firm and solid so I know he's there. And then I'm going to pre-fire and come out, and we clear him. That's crates. It's a hell in a handbasket kind of experience, and it'll blow rating for you. For every good drop, you'll get a drop where you die without a weapon on top of a crate to someone who got down 3 seconds before you and landed on an AKM. But it is one of the most exhilarating and adrenaline-packed experiences that you can get in PUBG Mobile. And if you want to grab your squad and drop Giorgio or Novo and have a good time, I highly endorse it, and I will 100% see you there. Until next time, look after yourselves, guys. Don't forget to join the Discord server. We've got a lot of stuff going on there at the moment. It's a public Discord server, so there is a link in the description below. I've just started an Instagram up. It's called The Bushka. I'm going to drop some of my little clips that I've been dropping on Twitter as well to that. And yeah, I love the community. I love the spirit, and I love the help that I get from you guys and the support I get. So, thanks very much. I really, really am enjoying myself at the moment. The game's brilliant. You're brilliant, and look, everyone, give each other a cuddle. Eat your veggies. Be nice to your mum. Bye.